A government that's big enough to give you everything you want is also big enough to take everything you've got. And if you disagree with this, let's take a look at Canada. Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it.
You know how people always say, well, if it weren't for government, who would build the roads? How about the schools? Who would make sure that the bridges are sound or make sure that we have clean running water? Without the government, what would we do? We couldn't do anything. Well, have you considered without the government, who would roll out the battle tanks? Who would unleash the war machines? That's what's going on in Canada right now. This is what's going on in the streets of Canada. Look at this. The government loves you. They just want the best for you. They want you to be safe and secure, and they want commerce to be uninterrupted. Really? While they interrupted commerce for the last 2 years? While they shut down business for the last 2 years? While they wreaked economic terrorism and devastation and ruin on the people of Canada, and now what they're going to do is come against people who are decidedly coming against the mandates? This is really how the government's going to treat their people? And wait, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is just some video that RT put out there from around Canada. Police intercept freedom convoy headed for Paris. Oh, so this is going on in Paris right here. But that's what they want to unleash in Canada. That's what Trudeau wants to unleash in Canada. Let me just show you what the Deputy Prime Minister, well, some say, not me, of course. Of course, I would never say this, but some people would call him the Deputy Prime Murderer or the Prime Murderer. Listen to what she says here.
This is about following the money.
How ironic. How ironic for a government functionary to get up there and say, all this stuff right here is about following the money. Key bono, who's benefiting? Not the government, the big pharmaceutical companies. No, we're not benefiting, but the truckers must be benefiting from some. They're benefiting from GoFundMe. They're benefiting from Give, Send, Go. Oh, they're benefiting on the plane of voluntary organization and people just contributing because they want to contribute, not because they were forced to, not because they were coerced, but people are actually giving to the trucker campaign. We are talking about in just a couple days, they got $9.2 million on Give, Send, Go. After the first $10 million was confiscated by the government through GoFundMe. That's the grassroots that we're talking about. That is nothing to sneeze at when you have that sum of money coming from voluntary means. Nobody coerced these people. Nobody threatened these people. Unless you give to the trucker campaign, everything's going to fall apart. No, none of that. It's like, hey, if you're for people being against being forced to put something in their body that they don't want in there, here, support it. If not, that's fine. So it's so funny to listen to a government talking head said, this is about follow the money. Yeah, it is. We've been saying that for the last 2 years. This is about follow the money. This isn't about you care about people. This is about you want to control them. How about that?
This is about following the money. This is about stopping the financing of these illegal blockades.
And what is that? Stopping the financing of illegal blockades. In other words, we say that you can't have these blockades, so we're going to declare them illegal, and we're going to stop your funding, which equals economic terrorism. I thought online bullying was against social media policies. This is countrywide bullying. This is countrywide terrorism. They're wreaking economic terrorism on their people in the form of, hey, we're going to cut off your money supply. If we find out that you were a part of that trucker convoy, you think you can stand up to the government and say, no, the government can't force us to do something? Well, you got another thing coming, boy. We're going to get with the banks and we're going to shut you down. This is about follow the money.
We are today serving notice. If your truck is being used in these illegal blockades, your corporate accounts will be frozen. The insurance on your vehicle will be suspended.
Maybe we don't need corporate accounts anymore, government. Maybe this whole thing where we had to get insurance was just a scam in the first place. Maybe we need to think the entire infrastructure of society. Thank you for pushing us, government. Thank you for bringing us to the brink. Thank you for backing us into a corner. What do you do? What happens to a person? What happens to an animal when you back them into the corner and they're at the end of their rope? They get desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. What is this other than an act of war against your own people from the government? What is this? When you're threatening to take away their entire livelihoods. Oh, if you do this, if you do that, if we catch you in that trucker convoy, we're going to shut down your bank accounts. We're going to take away your insurance. We're going to take away your ability to feed your family because you thought you could stand up to us and decide what you wanted your own body. Well, you know what? You're wrong.
Send your semi-trailers home. The Canadian economy needs them to be doing legitimate work.
You didn't think that in the last 2 years? You didn't think that the last 2 years? Hey, let's shut everything down. We're the government. We got to save you from this invisible cerveza.
Not to be illegally making us all poorer.
Says the government. Here, but wait, there's more. Here's what happened this morning. Or actually, this is the same day. This is the same press briefing. Listen to this. Justin Trudeau's sitting back there going, "Hey, deputy, why don't you take this? I'm kind of getting a lot of heat from the people. They kind of aren't liking the things that I say. So why don't you say the same things? But now it'll be you. Now it'll be both of us taking the heat from Canadians."
The government is issuing an order with immediate effect under the Emergencies Act, authorizing Canadian financial institutions to temporarily cease providing financial services where the institution suspects that an account is being used to further the illegal blockades and occupations. This order covers both personal and corporate accounts.
I like the person who put this tweet out right here, Cyprian. Look at the. Let's see. The amount of views that are on this original video right here, I think last time I looked, it was like 7,300 likes. But look what they say here. This is arguably the most consequential 80 seconds of any speech delivered by a government official in as long as I can remember. This is a panopticon. This is a panopticon in the new digital gulag. This is the start of the depersoning. This will expand to every country and every offense. And by offense, it's like, oh, if you question the government, if you dare to question the government, then guess what's going to happen to you? Economic terrorism, torment, devastation, livelihoods taken away, lives ruined, businesses closed. We're not going to tolerate you standing up to the government or thinking you can go toe-to-toe with the government. Maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is what society needs. Society needs to be pushed to the brink by political parasitic psychopaths.
Third, we are directing Canadian financial institutions to review their relationships with anyone involved in the illegal blockades and report to the RCMP or CSIS. As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so...
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? We can freeze your assets without a court order. We can go in there and just arbitrarily shut down accounts. Do you think that the government's going to make any mistakes here? Oh, we thought we saw you out there in the street participating in the blockade. This is dangerous stuff. You don't want anybody to have this kind of power. A government that's big enough to give you everything you want is obviously big enough to take everything you got. And by the way, they will take everything you got. These people don't care. They don't care about other people. All they care about is power and acquiring more power and more wealth from their big pharma industrial complex buddies.
A bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith. Federal government institutions will have a new broad authority to share relevant information with banks and other financial service providers to ensure that we can all work together to put a stop to the funding of these illegal blockades.
This is the start of depersoning. It truly is. This is the start of another a social credit score like you're seeing in China. Oh, you stepped out of line? Oh, you have a voice of dissent against the government, do you? Well, let's just write that down right here. Type it in the old computer. Send that over to your bank. Let's see next time you try to withdraw something from the old ATM. Let's see what happens to you. And this is what it's probably going to look like right here. Warning, yesterday we noticed you criticized the government and equity on the internet. Your account has therefore been suspended for 28 days. Vaccine passports and digital IDs are the bullet train to the social credit system. And, you know, people may say right now, no, this would never happen. Didn't you say that about 2 years ago? And said people aren't going to be walking around with ritualistic shame muscles. This is for China. That wouldn't happen to us. People aren't going to be forced to take a VA-XX. That's never going to happen. The government's not going to try to keep track of you and shut businesses down for the safety of the majority. That's not. And here we are. Don't think the government can't do it, because they will. They got what it takes to take what you got. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.